Hi, I'm joined by Maximo and he's just released his banger of a track, Head Over Heels with DigitalTek. Now, Head Over Heels is about love, isn't it, Maximo?
Yeah, it's yet another song about love. Like there's not enough songs about love, is there? Let's be honest.
No, and you were telling me about your friend and they told you that a lot of your songs are about love. But with dance music, sometimes it's just about having fun, isn't it?
Yeah, like a lot of people will focus on the music because let's face it, with dance music and that, a lot of it is for people in a club, off their face. They're not really focusing much on like the lyrics and stuff, but I still try and incorporate as much as I can of myself into this dance music as well. You know, I've been one of them people in the club not paying attention to the lyrics and just dancing and enjoying life, but I still, if I feature on these tracks, I want to bring something of me into the music, you know.
Yeah, and what did you imagine when you were writing this track?
I'm a bit of a soppy sod, if I'm honest. I was writing it as if I'd already met someone. You know, I've been single for a little while now, and I think what's life if you can't share these amazing things and you know, your achievements and everything, and even share your difficulties with someone. You know, it's like a partnership that we all long for, I suppose. So when I wrote this, it wasn't about someone. It was about someone that I wish I'd kind of met, that kind of thing. It's like a singing about the future.
You're manifesting it. You're like, do you believe in like once you write something, you have a clearer sense of what you actually want in life?
Yeah, I'm like, please let me meet someone. You know, we all do dream of that real intense love with someone, you know, where you feel vulnerable, but you also feel safe at the same time. So that's where it kind of came from, you know, that kind of place in my heart that wouldn't mind being vulnerable with someone, but as long as they treat me right, you know.
Yeah, and they've got to, for you to take that step and to actually fall head over heels, you've got to let yourself be vulnerable, and obviously that is a challenge. And we spoke about, do you ever feel head over heels, it's the name of the song, it's about falling in love, but do you ever feel that sometimes your head can leave over your heart?
All the time, yeah. Yeah, I think we've all been fallen victim to kind of, you know, how do I explain it? Letting your heart lead over your head, so to speak. You know, you're so involved in everything that sometimes you can't see what's staring you in the face, whether someone might not be right for you or anything. I feel like sometimes we can want something so much that we attract the wrong things to us. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
I don't believe in letting things come to me, but with love and stuff like that, I kind of do, because I feel like you can force it. But with anything else in my life, I want to go out there, I want to get it, I want it now. You know, it's sort of how I feel. I'm driven like that. But I kind of feel that if you force something like love, or, you know, just, yeah, force things along them lines, you're always going to end up meeting the wrong person or the wrong people. And yeah, I feel it's best to wait for something like that, because as well, I feel like a lot of us feel incomplete, so we want to meet someone to make us complete, but deep down we shouldn't ever be giving power to someone like that. Someone can't complete us, we need to be able to complete ourselves. But if someone comes into our life, then they can enhance it, can't they? They can enhance our life, make our lives better. But if you give the key to your happiness to someone else, you're only ever going to walk into obstacles and bad situations.
Yeah, and as someone who's so driven like yourself and finds it hard to relax, and you're saying that with love you shouldn't give someone that power, but is it quite difficult when you're used to sort of being quite active and you want to go and pursue things, but with love, is it hard to show that restraint and step back and let it come naturally?
Yeah, of course it is, especially within the last year. You know, I think we've all tackled, you know, mental health in some kind of way, loneliness. It's just been so tough, hasn't it? And this is why, like, I've thrown myself into my music and done other things, but I'm sure, like a lot of other people, I mean, I've had some big struggles through this, you know. I had a breakup during this time as well, you know, and it kind of feels like the whole thing with coronavirus and lockdown and everything didn't help the situation. But then also, you know, if something doesn't work out at a certain time, you have to trust the process, trust that it wasn't meant to be. And, you know, it's a learning curve, isn't it? They say that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And it's just whether you recognise that for what it is. You know, that was, for me, that was a lesson. And to not let myself fall too hard too quickly, especially in a time like this with coronavirus and everyone being locked down, and I think we're all desperate for human contact as well, because it's a natural thing, isn't it, to want to hug people. Like, I'm a massive hugger. Like, I'll just hug people. That's what I'm like. I don't do any of that handshaking rubbish. Like, come here, give me a cuddle, you know. So yeah, I think in a time you can confuse how you really feel with the situation. The situation enhances your emotions. It enhances. It can make you feel like something's meant to be when it's not. You know, and if you've got a bad relationship with yourself and you look at yourself in the wrong light, then you can give other people the power to how you feel. So I always say to myself, as much as I'd like to meet someone, I know that I need to get a better relationship with myself before I let someone else in, because I can't give someone that power over me like that. This is, you know, I need to be in control of my own self.
Yeah, and the song's about falling head over heels, and then you don't want to fall head over heels until you reach that right moment. And I feel that's what you're looking towards. And with, obviously, you mentioned going for a breakup, which especially in the last year or so has been like really difficult to obviously process, because you can't go to friends or family necessarily to get, you know, the help you want. But when you, after a breakup, and you start writing these love songs again, it feels like a bit of a leap, doesn't it? When you're not in love, but you've had that and it's gone, and then you've taken that moment and you're trying to figure out actually what you want in life. How was that, writing that down into a song?
Yeah, I feel like you have to take a step back for a little while, because for me, I want to get over it a little bit before I start writing about it, because I don't want anything too raw, because obviously at the time it hurts. So you don't want to be like, for me, it's hard for me to deal with my emotions, you know, like it is for most men, I suppose. And probably most people, it's hard to deal with your emotions. So yeah, I tend to take a little step back, regroup, and then come back to a time that it doesn't hurt too much, and then I can write about how I felt and how I still feel, but not with such a heavy heart, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think after breakups you can go through so many different emotions. You know, you can miss the person, you can hate the person, you can hate that you love the person. It's just so much. And it does make, I kind of think after breakups, you always say to yourself, I'm never going through that again. I'm never letting anyone near me. I'm never giving my heart to someone. But like, you will.
Yeah.
You know it's rubbish when you're saying it. You know it's rubbish, but you still feel it in your heart that you just don't want to give anyone that power. And I think now, more so than ever, people don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to be vulnerable, and that's why it takes a lot more. There's not really much, as my nan would say, there's not much courting goes on now. When it was her age, you used to be courting for ages, and you know, I don't know what my nan did, to be fair, but yeah, she's explained to me, like, you know, she used to date people for like 2-3 months, and then start talking about a relationship and stuff like that. But I feel now we do live in a generation and in a time when everyone wants so desperately to be loved that they'll jump into anything, even if it's with the wrong person. And I feel like we're programmed as well to chase people that don't want us. And it's like, if you pull away there and then, it's a lot easier for you. Whereas our egos get involved and we're like, oh, why doesn't this person want me? I want this person to want me. When really that's just life saying, like, move on, go. You're going to get your heart broken if you carry on. But, you know, as I say, in a time with social media and everything, it's all a very kind of, we can be pretty self-absorbed, can't we?
Yeah, very.
Display tendencies of narcissism and everything like that. So, but I do feel that sometimes in life, these signs are there, like walk away. If you're having to go through all of this back and forth with someone, like, do you want me? Yes, I do. And then the next time they don't, and then they do, then they don't. Like, what are you doing to yourself? And I'm saying this as someone who's done that to themselves, like, continuously. But yeah, I suppose going back to the point of writing songs, and I feel like I've got a natural thing of writing love songs, even though I've written songs about other things. But I suppose I just want so desperately to, well, I wouldn't say desperately, but I want to meet someone who can accept me for who I am, both my ups and my downs, and someone who just won't try and play on your insecurities. So I feel like now we do live in a time where everyone's so insecure that they'll find a little insecurity and they'll tug at it and they'll tug at it. And that's what I don't want. So I'm willing to obviously wait until I meet the right person. But as I said to you earlier, I want to be ready in myself so that I'm strong enough to notice when someone's trying to do that to me.
Yeah, you've got to get to that moment again before you're ready to fall head over heels. And what you're saying about not chasing people, it's making sure that they want the same thing. So don't take that jump and don't try and fall head over heels before you get to that moment. And going back to songwriting, who are some like songwriters or artists you look up to? Michael Jackson's my all-time like inspiration. Just, I feel he's the greatest entertainer of all time, and I'm absolutely gutted I never got to see him live or anything like that. I actually remember when I found out he passed away. I was on my way back from my girlfriend's at the time, and we were arguing on the phone, and then she just went, hold on, Michael Jackson's died. And it's safe to say, like, that completely stopped the argument, and I was just absolutely devastated. But for me, he's like the greatest entertainer of all time, and just like, I wish I could move like him. I can't. I've got proper like dad dancing moves, but it's just an inspiration to see how someone like that can just totally like captivate the audience and just have them in the palm of his hand. So it's like him, Freddie Mercury, Stevie Wonder, Justin Timberlake, another massive inspiration for me. So yeah, like those are the top four artists. I used to listen to a lot of Neo as well. I like Neo. He's like awesome songwriter and R&B artist, and just always writes bangers. And what's something, in your music, and what kind of songs do you want to write? What kind of genre? Is there something you want to do that you're not doing already or haven't had the chance to do already?
I feel I'm heading in the right direction. It's taken me years to find my sound, but I grew up on a lot of 70s and 80s style music, with massive harmonies and cool synths and like disco funk, pop and soul that's the kind of mixture of my music that I have. That's what my album's going to be. Now, so I've got songs like Midnight Millionaire, Falling. I've got one on the way called Another Decade. And then I've got some real soft soul ballads as well to go in there. So, I mean, I'm 30 years old now, and I've got close to releasing an album so many times. And then the people that I've worked with have just been complete flakes, which I'm sure that's something you can relate to. You know, when you're relying on other people,
Yeah.
that's when you can tend to fall short, you know. And I've been so close to releasing my album on a few different times, but I'm glad it didn't work out, because now I feel finally at the age of 30 that I found my sound, which is disco, funk, pop and soul all rolled into one.
Yeah, and you're, and it's, you know, it's been a battle to get to that point, but when you do, it's obviously so much better than having it rushed or having it with the wrong people. And I've got to bring up that comment you made about, well, you said people being flakes, but generally in the music industry, if you want to get something out in a certain time and you're messaging someone saying, can you send the file over now please, and they're like, yeah, I'll do it now, 4 weeks later there's nothing. So what's it, and I can tell, because we've spoken organising this interview, I know you're as like driven and you can't rest until things are done, and I feel you on that one. So what was it like working with people that don't sort of have the same hyperactivity you do?
I think it takes a level of understanding, because obviously, as I've spoke to you about, you know, having ADHD and stuff like that, I appreciate that I am normally miles ahead of other people in terms of like, let's do this, let's do that, right now, let's go. And it can be overwhelming to people. But at the same time, with music and just with anything in life, you know, you can have like the greatest invention in the world, but if the world doesn't know it exists, like, it's never going to go anywhere. So I try and explain to anyone that I work with, you know, I am a bit of a ball buster, but we need to keep going with this, you know, and if I ask for something, I'm going to need it there and then, you know, or within the next day, because I want to get things done. You know, at the end of the day, I'm going and I'm working a job that I don't want to work. Most people work in jobs that they don't want to work. They're just living to pay bills and do this and do that. But I just don't want to be one of them people. I want to get stuff done outside of work so I can eventually leave my work and go and pursue the career that I want to pursue, you know. And that's pretty much it, really.
Yeah.
Music's the be all and end all. It's all I want to do. And if anyone does work with me, one thing they will get is always 100% dedication, and I don't mess around. You know, I've been sent tracks and I've got them done within a day, and then the producers have been like, wow, I didn't expect that, because other people don't do that. And for me, if you're inspired, if you want to go and do these things, if you want to reach the heights of greatness, like, you have to lose sleep. You have to go through your little mental breakdowns and everything, because this is life saying to you, like, how much do you want this? Like, seriously, how much do you want this? And you have to answer back, and you can go, right, this much. And I've gone to work, I've got up for work at 4 a.m, gone and worked a 6 till 2 shift, and then gone straight up to London to work with a producer, and not got back to mine till like 10 at night. And then I'm back up at 4 again. And it's absolutely knackering. But the alternative to me is, I always think any second that goes by, I'm wasting that second. I could have done something with that. I don't want to regret anything in my life. You know, we all have regrets, but I don't want regrets to actually consume me, you know, and to make me think like, oh, you're 45 now, you could have done this, but you were too lazy. And I'd rather get to the age of 45 and know that I'd done my absolute hardest, or tried my absolute hardest, done my absolute best. And if I didn't make it, then at least I can sit back and go, well, I tried, I gave it my all, there's nothing more I'd have done.
Yeah, and if you give it that, you know you can't regret it. And no, I share that mentality completely, and I really look up to it, because I don't think that of the hard workers I meet, I see the most potential, because there's lots of people can have talent, lots of people can have a gift, but not many people have the bravery or the dedication to work for it, and you clearly do. And yeah, you've got to find the right people to work with so they understand you. You've even got to find the right audience to release that with, and when you've done all that and you've worked out who you are and what you've got to say, then you're ready to do things like fall in love, and then you've got to find someone who understands you in that way, and then, you know, you're in that place where you can fall head over heels.
Indeed, indeed.
So then, Maximo, what's next? We've had Head Over Heels, but what's next for your music career?
Well, I'm currently working on finishing my album off. As I mentioned earlier, it's something that I've been really trying to do for years. Never quite got there, you know, just as I say, because of people I've been working with and people that are unreliable. But now I finally feel like I've got a really good team around me. So yeah, Head Over Heels is like kind of dance pop orientated, but my album is very funk, soul, disco and pop. It's going to have elements of the 70s, the 80s, everything like that. It's going to be music that can cater for all people. So it's the past with elements of modern music, which I feel is the perfect concoction, you know. So yeah, for me, it's finishing the album. I've got some things I can't talk about at the moment, but are very, very promising for my career and could catapult it into a much better place. Which for me, it's about, you know, it's about time. I've been trying hard at this like for years and years, and I've never given up. And you know, finally seeming to reap the rewards, which is fantastic. So yeah, on this album we're gonna have some love songs. And then we're going to have some songs about me getting drunk and buying everyone drinks, which I'm sure people have done before as well. So there's songs written about all different kinds of things, but I feel like that's my main focus at the moment, is getting the album done and saying to the world, like, look, this is me, this is the sound I'm trying to bring, this is my music, basically, this is Maximo.
Perfect. I can't wait to hear it, because it does sound like a complete all-rounder and it tells lots of stories, so I can't wait. When can we expect it? Obviously, if it's not finished, you can't really, but, you know, if we're dreaming, when can we expect it?
I'm thinking July time is when I want to release it. July, early August. There's a lot of nice summery songs on there as well, and there's a lot of like nice smooth music on there as well, so I just can't wait to get it out there. I'm so psyched and so, yeah, just so excited really to finally go, like, this is me, this is my album, and just have everything there ready and just see what the world thinks, really. I don't, you know, I'm open to criticism and everything like that. I'm not, you know, precious about that stuff. I kind of like the excitement of putting everything out there on the line and just go and judge me and let me know what you think, you know. So I'm excited for that, and I think people will like it. It's good music, I think.
Perfect, yeah, and I think that's a really good mentality to have. This is who I am. If you don't like it, who cares? But I'm here and I've done this. It's my album. It's about time, and here we are. No, I love that, and I can't wait to do it.
You've got to be ready to be judged.
Yeah.
You know, that's just in life in general. You have an opinion, you're risking being judged, whereas if you put your work out there, you're risking being judged as well. So it's fine for me. But I know what's constructive and what's not. And then if someone wants to slate me and everything, I'll go, yeah, fair enough. Like, your opinion doesn't really matter to me. But if someone wants to give me constructive criticism and that, I always take it on board. Like, I want to improve as an artist. I want to improve as a human being. And for me, you can't do that without constructive criticism about things. So I welcome it. Bring it all. Bring it all.
Thanks so much for joining me, Maximo. I love Head Over Heels. And how can people listen to the song and find you online?
Right, so you can listen to the song by just purely typing in DigitalTek and Maximo Head Over Heels. It's on all platforms like your Spotify, Apple Music. These are all of them. Like, it's on YouTube, SoundCloud, a lot. Yeah, and if you want to find me on things like Insta and Twitter, it's at Maximo Sings, and on Facebook, facebook.com/Maximo Sings as well. All my social medias will be on them pages. So yeah, come follow me, come say hello. Always here to chat. I'm very open, like with my messages and stuff like that. So it would be awesome to have some new fans in.
Excellent. Go and play that song, guys.
Joe Holmes. Making waves.